fatty just there and the price stuck. And then we spotted another fatty into the bottom edges here. And the price stuck again. And the price rallied back off those levels. Okay, so the price ran off those levels. Another fatty shows up, my goodness. A big fatty shows up on this one. And what a lovely little stick around that price level. And look at that, guys. So the reason why, you might be wondering, why was I suggesting in Classroom, why was I suggesting in the tweets that we do this as an exercise? Because I want you to get used to trading fatties. I want you to get used to it. The reason why I want you to get used to it is because if you've got no intention of ever trading them as a fader, you should definitely use them as profit-taking opportunities for your other trades. If you're short the market and you see a fatty showing up, it's time to book some money. It's time to book some money. Because what happens when a fatty shows up, you know that they're going to gobble up all the orders, right? Because they're hungry, right? They've got an appetite. So when you see a big fatty showing up here, they're going to gobble up all those orders, and it's going to stick the price around here. Shifting a fatty off of a price like this is going to be hard, right? You need a bloody crane just to get them moving. And that's the point, right? So the more you exercise with these processes, you start to realize that you can actually use these to trade against. You can use these to trade against these ideas, can't you? Because when you start seeing some fatties showing up, for example, there's a fatty showing up at the top edge there. So you start looking around that area and saying, well, that's probably the end of a move, at least for the time being. And guess what happened? If you sold against that, you've managed to make a little bit of cash, perhaps. But if you were to use that as a profit take at that price, you've also managed to save yourself a very, very reasonable drawdown from that point. Fatties are very, very useful to us. They provide us with clues. Somebody is gobbling up all the liquidity in those areas. Your job is to make sure you take advantage of that information. Your job is to make sure that you can lean against that information. Once this fatty's in place at the top edge, guys, if you sell away from that, some big huge lion shows up, that fatty is going to get eaten first, right? You're going to be away. You're going to be sprinting. You've gone because you're stealth. You are total stealth off of that top edge now. So you could potentially lean against that fatty. Get away from the top edge. And that's what you're trying to do, aren't you, when you're seeing these things? This is the process. This is the point of these ideas, is to make sure that when you do trade, you're putting as many edges as you possibly can do into your favor rather than against you. So when we start to recognize these little edges, that's what we're looking for. Stealth, boom, straight into a possible profit on a scalp. If you wanted to scalp it, but you should be practicing them. You should be looking on a candle like that and saying, right, where is that liquidity? I want to look inside a candle that size volume and that size of Z-score. I want to find where that liquidity now is and possibly take a quick short against it. Practice it, because that would be an exit for a long or a short for a short. Practice it, practice it, practice it. You'll find that if you end up practicing that, you could end up developing your own system around trading just these ideas. Very much like we talked about earlier about books and the book doing this and the book doing that. I mean, if you're obviously looking at these things, it starts to make an awful lot of sense, right? Well, it should make an awful lot of sense at that stage. Once the book starts to sing to you, you start to see some of these opportunities. If you get into a bottom edge, you start seeing a big sell coming in and the book's bullish. Boom. What a beautiful trade. What a beautiful trade, guys. Simple, easy concepts.